Mark,
Paul,
we are back.
season 2.
Season 2. Just when you thought you couldn't get rid of us, we dip our toes into the Lazarus pit and we are back.
And we rise from the grave. Yes. Yes, perfect.
Exactly. You can't kill us. So we are going to talk about the newest DC, Lazarus Planet. That's what we're going to talk about.
Event.
We're going to talk about Lazarus Pit, and we will do that right after this. So, before we get started, don't forget, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the notification button. Make sure you comment, let us know how you're doing. Let us know if there's something that you want us to talk about in the future.
Subscribe. Also subscribe. Hit that subscribe button.
Yes, don't forget. So, this is season 2, episode 1. The first season was all about Dark Crisis. The second season is going to be about different things. We're going to start with the Lazarus Planet event. Who knows where DC will take us? It's really kind of up to DC.
Yeah, this one's a little bit different than season 1. We had a monthly title dropping with Dark Crisis, which was 7 issues, plus all the bells and whistles. But Lazarus Planet will be a weekly installment for the next 2 months with very few extensions beyond that. There are a couple, but very few. So this will be a fast turnaround time for this read.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it starts off really strong. Got it,
Very,
Mark
very
Waid,
strong. This is Lazarus Planet Alpha. This is also different in the sense that this is not a numbered series. It's a series of one-shots. The first part is Lazarus Planet Alpha. The second part, for example, will be called Lazarus Planet Assault on Krypton, and so on.
Right. And, this is something that Mark Waid has been building to since he came back to DC. He set the foundation for it in World's Finest when he had Batman and Superman taking on Neza. Then he kind of built upon that when he moved to Batman versus Robin, and which still has one issue to go.
Far of, correct? There's been 4 issues.
There's one more to go, but it's taking a couple months hiatus to go into Lazarus Planet, and then it'll go back to
the finale in issue 5. So for some back issue reading context, if you want to get a full reading catalog up to this, it would be World's Finest 1 through 6 that leads straight into Batman versus Robin 1 through 4 as of today. And like you mentioned, it is on hiatus as this event takes place between issues 4 and 5 that will come out, I believe, a month from now, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Yeah. And it also wouldn't do you any harm to go back and read the Robin series as well, because all of the Robin series basically takes place on this island.
Yeah.
So
where this whole event kicked off.
Right. Not the Tim Drake Robin that's out now. It's the Robin that had Damian in it. That was the previous
Joshua
series.
Williamson's Robin with the Lazarus Island Death Tournament storyline. Yeah.
Correct. So what did you think?
I absolutely loved it. There's nothing but rave reviews from me on this one, from the writing to the art, even the colorist. For God's sakes, the letterer did a good job on this. This was so well put together as just a fun, it's nonstop. It's like, it feels like there's some serious stakes at play here as well. You feel really heavily invested in the danger that these people are going through. It was a enjoyable read from start to finish for me.
Right. And this picks up almost maybe just a little bit after the end of Batman versus Robin issue number 4, which is where the Lazarus Planet, the volcano on it, erupted. And basically what it did was it basically spewed magic all over the earth.
Yeah, so what it is, it's the Lazarus resin. Particles of the Lazarus pits themselves, which like their primary original home location on this planet is this island. It erupts and spreads that resin throughout the entirety of the planet, creating like a superstorm is what they use. It's covered the globe. It's infecting people and causing crazy side effects that they haven't even got into yet. But they're just dealing with the fallout primarily of that volcano erupting in this issue.
Right, exactly. And so Supergirl puts out a call to all of any hero that's available to come because they're basically going to be fighting I can't think of King Bull.
The Devil, Nazar, King Bull, Mother Nature, like they just the world's got some ish going on. So she puts out a call for everyone to come
Right.
back to the Hall of Justice. That's really where we start the book with Damian, Talia, Batman in the Batwing. The only thing we miss from Batman versus Robin in here is them actually getting in the Batwing, but it's pretty much like you said, a direct continuation. It was pretty cool the way that they showed up to the Hall of Justice as well. Some really dynamic panel work there.
Right. And so, if you recall, at the end of Batman versus Robin #4, Batman is not in great condition. And
Not
so,
at all.
Robin steps forward to lead the battle because there's a couple things that they have to do. One is they want to go and they want to find the Tower of Fate. Because that's where Black Alice has deposited all. That's where the mask should be, and that's where Black Alice has been siphoning off magic and storing it in magic or magic items, and been storing it inside the helmet.
Per the
Um,
devil Neza's demanding. That was all happened in Batman versus Robin. She was hostage, siphoning magic into this one item so that he can wield it and be more powerful for the coming of his son, who by lore is coming to kill the devil Neza. So he's trying to get prep for this impending battle that he knows is on the way. And we're pretty much at the doorstep of that battle in this big event. There's a lot going
right.
on.
So a little cross promotion. Hint, hint. If they're looking for the helmet of fate, it's Endangered Street.
It
Um,
is. Yeah. And it's not doing anybody any favors over there.
exactly. Um, so he sends one group there because they have to try and get into the Tower of Fate. Now, Supergirl's powers have been diminished because of the eruption of this. Because one, all so, all of the super beings are susceptible to magic for one thing. But two,
Sunlight's
her
being
power exactly. There's been no sunlight basically. So her power has been diminished. So he sends Tim basically divides the group into two. He has Supergirl and the Blue Devil and Mary Marvel and Cyborg and the Blue Beetle, I believe,
Yeah, you had
and
Blue
Zatanna.
Beetle, Cyborg, Power Girl, Zatanna, and Mary Marvel going to the Tower of Fate.
Correct. And everyone else, he's except for the Monkey Prince, he
Yeah.
sends. Which is just seems funny even to say that,
You
except for the
ride
Monkey Prince.
clouds and separate your limbs. I don't know what to do with you right now. Stay here.
Yeah, he says that he can be cannon fodder.
I need cleaning
um,
water. Yeah.
so he sends everybody else to battle Nazar.
Well, he sent Group
Uh,
One to the Tower of Fate to get
right.
into the tower. Power Girl, Mary Marvel, Zatanna, Blue Beetle, and Cyborg were sent to the Tower of Fate to try to get inside. You had Power Girl with a brute strength, Blue Beetle and Cyborg with some technology, and you had Mary Marvel and Zatanna, the magic user. So he's being very strategic with his
Mhm.
team building, which we also saw him doing in Dark Crisis. Talk about like some consistent writing of Damian through multiple writers. But he sent the other team to go find the devil himself.
Right. Which is I keep forgetting the name. It's King.
King Bull or the all of his lackeys.
Right. Exactly. He's got the Silver Horn King and he's got the Golden Horn King.
Yeah,
Who are
he's got
like
his
don't call him
lackeys.
Lackey. He does not like to be called Lackey.
No, not at all. But what's
um,
funny is that's what I remembered. I
right.
had to go back and check what were these new characters' names again. But you
Right.
have Supergirl, you have Blue Devil, you have Batman, and there was one other character that was on that team that was all bundled up.
That was
I
Talia.
guess that was
Talia.
Talia. Okay, so
Yeah.
oh yeah, because she kept referring to Batman as her love or
Right.
whatever. So yeah, they get inside and they find none other than Swamp Thing and Poison Ivy duking it out with the Devil Nizam himself. And kudos to Riccardo Federici on these art. We've seen him on War World for a while now, but it's such a drab place. His art was amazing, but in this, what's different is the colors. They're vibrant. You've got the Devil Nazahu's red, Swamp Thing and Ivy are green. You have energy projections lighting up the room orange. You're really flexing how talented the artists and colorists, the inkers, the entire team is on this book. It is an impressive looking book.
It really is. And for the longest time he was really only doing covers, and so now we've had War World and now we have this, and it's just what, we got to get him on interiors more often.
More
So
often, yeah, it's definitely a treat. I've watched him work on Instagram and stuff, and it's just pencils, man. He's just going.
right. Um, so they're having trouble getting into the Tower of Fate until finally Mary Marvel basically cracks the code and says Shazam. Her lightning comes
Ooh.
down, blasts open the Tower of Fate, and then we get a shot of some people basically. Yeah, that's just impressive. Um, and then we get a shot of a person who's walking out, picks up a hat, puts it on, and then we
And a
see a couple.
sword.
Yeah, and someone picks up the sword, and then we get this image of basically all of the magical beings that have been captured in. You know what? I will make you big. Hold on a second.
Yeah, comes walking out wounded, no hat, chilling. You see people picking up their items and everything, and then boom,
Right.
Phantom Stranger. You got Alan Scott on there. Looks like Ragman to me, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Looks like Clarion the Witch Boy is in the back
yeah, he's back
there.
there
Doctor Occult is the guy I think in the trench coat over to the right.
with his hat. Yeah.
Um,
It looks like you have
Looks like
Joaquin on the far left.
yep. In front of him, I believe is Tim Hunter. From the books of magic. So there's lots of people. There's actually people you can go out and try to figure out exactly who all of these people are. But these are the magical beings that had been trapped inside
And
the
is that supposed to be John on the far back left as well?
John Constantine.
It looks like him, doesn't it?
I believe so.
To stick him in the back, that's really a bold move.
um, this is the group that basically gives them a fighting chance in this series. And it's funny because you wouldn't necessarily really think of Alan Scott, but if you go back to his original roots, his ring was basically a mystical ring.
Yeah, it's magic
Um,
based, 100%.
yeah,
The green flame.
right. I mean, they did in the '80s tie his thing to the Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Universe, but it still is the mystical type of a ring. So.
Mhm.
Um, uh, and
And
so
moving on,
then
we go.
go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, moving on, we go back to the fight with everyone with the devil. They got him down. He's in a weakened state right now after the previous battle. And while they're kind of licking their wounds and figuring out what to do next, you see some kind of dark magical energy come up to Batman's boots, run up him, and you turn the page, and Batman has been possessed by the
Elon,
devil Nazar, it looks like. And what a panel page turn to see that image. Like that should have been a cover, but it would have
it,
been a spoiler, but that is
to,
insanity.
to me, that is more impressive and more scary than anything that was done in Death Metal.
Yeah, big time. And you can see the black magical energy still just steaming off of him almost. It's just, yeah, that's wild. Absolutely insane artwork again.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty much
And
how our
then
issue
we flash back to Damien, who suddenly has a visitor at the Hall of Justice, and it's none other than King Fireball, who is the big bad that they're going to be facing.
and there's a shot of him if you're wondering what the devil Nazar's son looks like. And then there's a caveat to this. We do get a small backup story of Monkey Prince, which is actually not throwaway. You need to read it because it
Right.
actually gives some context and backstory to the devil Nazar, as well as Monkey Prince's father, who knew each other from thousands of years ago. These are characters from actual Chinese lore and stuff. And the devil Nazar was a corrupted spirit who, because of the gods and stuff, they gave him a magical sash that helped keep his anger in check. And we see them go into a small battle together with each other against King Fireball, who they managed to shut down and send off. And you realize from the story that this King Fireball is clearly after the devil Nazar for what he did to his father, because this is the son of King Fireball, the second King Fireball. You know, he's
Right.
out for blood against Nazar for having shut down his dad all those eons ago. So it's kind of get a little personal touch seeing the devil Nazar not all hulked out with the horns and the red skin and having to battle himself and his decisions with being able to choose right from wrong and everything, with the knowing that the red sash is keeping him from being this evil being and stuff. So I'm curious to see where that goes, as well, as I have not been reading Monkey Prince. This was my first real experience with him. It's very interesting and enjoyable lore and characters they're playing with.
Yeah, I think it's gonna, obviously, I think that part of it is gonna play out in the Monkey Prince, and so you'll see exactly why, the Monkey Prince is gonna be so integral to the entire story. But yeah, I agree. It's not something that you can just throw away, because it definitely does play into the overall. mystery, the overall history of Nazai and everything, as well as the Monkey Prince's dad. So this was just an amazing issue. The one thing that I wish they hadn't done is they threw an ad in the middle of it, which is actually
The
because you're
regional.
reading Lazarus Planet. It took me a second to realize that wait a second, this is just an ad that they're doing here for Lazarus Planet. I'm like, what did they do that for? But that's obviously small, minor. It didn't really, once I got over it, which only took me a second or two, I was fine.
Yeah. It was kind of a clever looking ad. You kind of see all the events
Yeah,
erupting out on the planet and everything. Then you go to look at your map key and it's your reading checklist. You're like, come on, man.
yeah, and then they had they had the Tower of, which I guess the Tower of Fate. We didn't know where it was necessarily in this story, but it's always
Well, it
been in
moves,
Salem,
doesn't it? Yeah,
Massachusetts.
it's wherever it wants to be.
Well, it's always been in Salem, Massachusetts in the past.
Hmm.
So, um, but anyway, I can't say enough good about this issue. It was just incredible. Um, yeah, go ahead, talk about that's John Jang's one
Yeah,
in
the
twenty
one in
five, I think, right?
25 Jang variant for it had to grab it. You know, I'm a completionist for the Jang stuff, but getting a cyborg and a mech suit was a for sure grab. The big Gatling guns, the big third leg, the little cyborg in the middle. It's fantastic. It is
Right.
fantastic.
Mhm. So we
Yeah, I hope
have some of
everybody out there had a chance to pick this up. And if you were on the fence about this event, I highly recommend giving it a shot. If you didn't know about it, definitely give it a shot. You be honest with you, you don't have to have like your footing or anything in specific stuff going on. You can pick this up, read it, and get introduced to new characters along the way, and probably enjoy this one just fine. You know.
right, and there's a lot of different things that in some of the marketing that's come out for some of the issues that are coming up. And it also seems as though each issue is going to be deal with different heroes. It's not going to be like so. I don't think we'll see the next time we'll see the battle between King Fireball and Damien will probably be in Lazarus Planet Omega.
Yeah.
The second one, so because the next one has Superman, John Kent,
Mercy
Dreamer,
Graves.
exactly, Mercy Graves, Power Girl, but what I was getting at is some of the things coming up. It talks about, and if you look at the background here, there's some amalgam things that'll be coming up, coming along at some
Confusion
point.
characters are on the way. We know,
Yeah.
yeah, we know Martian Manhunter is going to mentally link to a Doomsday Hive.
Hmm.
That's going to be wicked. We know John Kent's going electric blue. And yeah, so the next one is called Assault on Krypton, but it's going to be focusing on a specific set of characters like Power Girl as well as John Kent to really see what's going to happen because with this resin affecting and changing everyone, we didn't see that in this. We're going to be seeing what's happening from the side effects of this volcano for the next few issues.
Correct. And then we're also promised some new concept, like you said, like the Vigil is something that's coming down the road that will springboard out of here, and that's something that Ron B is going to take over
Yeah.
and kind of run with it. So I'm encouraged, really looking forward to see what he's going to do with that. So, um, so it is self-contained, but it will have big effects on the DC universe as a whole,
Which
which
is
really can't
awesome.
ask for anything
Bring
more
on
than that.
some new stuff. Heck yeah.
Absolutely. Um, so, anything else about this that you want to talk about, or
And that is it, y'all. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff.
absolutely? So that's going to do it then for this episode of DC Comics Deep Dive. I am Paul. He
Is
is
Mark,
Mark, but we,
our Legion.
and you're now leaving Sector 2815.
Bye.